All right, so for the past few weeks, we've been playing detective, right? Analyzing art, decoding it, tracing its history. But now we're flipping the script completely. We're getting out of the gallery and into the studio. We're putting down the textbook and picking up the blank page. Okay, let's get into it.
This is really the big question for today, isn't it? It's a huge shift, and honestly, it can feel both super exciting and, well, a little intimidating. Because making art isn't just about what you know. It's about who you are. You can see the two mindsets right here, side by side. All that skill you've built up as an analyst, that's not going away. It's still absolutely crucial, but now it's serving a totally new purpose. We're shifting from just understanding meaning to actually creating new meaning. And that means you have to get vulnerable to make something authentic, something that's really, truly yours.
Okay, so where do we even begin on this new path? Well, our first step is to look inward, and we have a name for that: soulmaking.
So what is soulmaking? Basically, it's about taking your personal experiences, your emotions, your inner life, and translating all that into some kind of creative form. And listen, the goal here is not perfection. It's about authenticity. It's not about making something flawless. It's about making something real.
And this table just lays it all out so perfectly. The core idea is simple. You are the raw material for your own art. You can do it by expressing your emotions, digging into your identity, or even making a comment on society based on what you've lived through. And the payoff? Oh, it's huge. We're talking real emotional release, genuine self-discovery. Just think about someone like Frida Kahlo. She put her entire self onto the canvas. Her pain, her politics, her identity, it's all right there for us to see. That is what soulmaking is all about.
Okay, so that sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it, right? Well, here's a practical guide. First off, don't try to create a masterpiece on day one. Just start small. Pick a medium that feels good, not like a chore. But the most important step here, seriously, is number 4. Embrace discomfort. If what you're making feels a little too personal, a little risky, that's often a sign that you're on the right track. Authentic art is almost never comfortable to make.
All right, so we've looked inward with soul-making. Now we're going to flip the camera around and look outward. Instead of just using our own stuff, we're going to start engaging with the whole world of images and ideas that are already out there. And this brings us to appropriation.
Now, the key word you absolutely have to remember here is recontextualizing. This is not about just copying something. No way. It's about taking something we all recognize and twisting it, or putting it somewhere new so that we're forced to see it and the world in a totally different light.
So, what are the tools in the appropriation toolkit? Well, here are 4 main strategies. You can smash 2 different things together. That's juxtaposition. You can make fun of something to critique it. That's parody. You can use a familiar image to make a powerful political point, or you can just totally transform the original into something brand new. Let's look at some real-world examples.
Okay, first up, the master himself, Andy Warhol. So he takes a Campbell's soup can, you can't get more boring and everyday than that, right? And he puts it in a fancy art gallery. Boom. Just like that, he completely shatters the wall between high art and low culture. But it also makes you wonder, is just reproducing a logo enough to call it new art? It's a tricky question. Then you've got Barbara Kruger. She finds this generic photo of a woman's face, and with a little bit of clever editing and a few bold words slapped on top, she turns it into this incredibly powerful political statement. It's amazing proof that a small change can have a huge impact. But again, you have to ask the ethical question, is it okay to use someone's picture, even an anonymous one, to make your own political point?
And if you want to talk about pushing the limits, let's talk about Richard Prince. What he did was so simple, it's almost shocking. He literally just took a photograph of a Marlboro cigarette ad. That's it. By doing next to nothing, he's asking this massive question, what does original even mean anymore? And yeah, this one is super controversial. It really gets down to that core debate. Is this a brilliant work of art, or is it just straight-up theft?
And now we go back to the one that really kicked this whole thing off, Marcel Duchamp's Fountain. The story is legendary. He walks into a hardware store, buys a urinal, signs a fake name on it, and says, "This is art." And with that one move, he changed the game forever. His point was that art isn't about skill with a paintbrush, it's about the artist's idea, their choice. It's a wild concept that totally flipped the art world on its head.
So you see, all of these examples bring up these really tough, messy questions that don't have simple answers. And as someone who's about to start creating, you have to think about this stuff.
What's the line between inspiration and just ripping someone off? This gets especially important when you're borrowing from a culture that isn't your own. You always have to ask yourself, who holds the power here? It's a huge responsibility.
Okay, so we've gone deep inside ourselves with soulmaking. We've looked out at the world with appropriation. What's left? Well, our third tool is about being right here, right now. It's all about the present moment. And that is improvisation. Now, when people hear improvisation, a lot of them just think of chaos, right? Just making stuff up randomly. But that's not it at all. Look at that phrase, disciplined spontaneity. I love that. It means you have the skill and the focus to react and create in the moment, to let go of the plan and just respond.
You see it in music all the time. Think about a great jazz solo. The musician isn't just hitting random notes, they're having a conversation, in real time, with the rest of the band.
Or in theater, improv comedy. The whole thing is built on one simple rule. Yes and. You accept what your partner gives you and you add to it. And just like that, you build a whole world from nothing.
You can see it in dance, too. There's a form called contact improv, where it's all about responding to your partner's weight and momentum. There's no plan, no choreography, just pure physical dialogue in the moment. And of course, in visual art, you have Jackson Pollock. When you look at his paintings, you're not just seeing a picture. You're seeing the leftover evidence, kind of like a fossil, of a physical dance he did with paint and canvas in one specific moment in time. So here's why this matters for you. Improvisation is an amazing tool for breaking through creative block. You know that feeling when you're just staring at a blank page and have no idea what to do? Try this. Set a rule to intentionally make the worst thing you can. It sounds crazy, but it's so freeing. The big secret is that inspiration doesn't show up before you start. It shows up because you start.
Okay, so we've got these three huge ideas, these three different ways of creating. Let's pull them all together now and see how they fit into a single toolkit. And here it is, the artist triangle. This is your whole creative toolkit in one image. You've got soulmaking, which is all about looking at the self. You've got appropriation, which is about engaging with the world. And you have improvisation, which is about creating in the moment. And here's the thing, the best, most powerful art, it usually uses a little bit of all three.
So I want to leave you with one last question to think about. Look at these 3 points on the triangle. Which one scares you the most? Seriously. Is it the idea of being super vulnerable and personal with soulmaking? Is it navigating the tricky ethics of appropriation? Or is it the thought of just letting go of control and improvising? Whichever one makes your stomach do a little flip, that's probably where you need to begin. Because that's where the real growth is waiting.